Mm, 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 mm. I will be there for you. Yes. Hello. Great day, everybody. Great day. This is part two. We're talking about life alchemy. We're talking about a little bit differently about how we can bring some things into place. Thanks for coming back into the space with me on today. I am the Chat Diva, conscious, honest, authentic talks from a divinely inspired vision of ascension. Marrian Sista Efua of Azon Life Alchemy Center, Exponential Existence. Thanks for being here. Go ahead and like, share, and tag a friend. Here we're going to be continuing our conversation. When I started talking earlier, I was talking about the fact that, this platform is a phenomenal platform, and that is really is a busy platform. Statistics are showing that TikTok is replacing, you know, YouTube and Facebook and Instagram is really replacing it, because not only can you now leave a post like you can on Instagram, a picture, now you can begin to leave like little 15 to up to 10-minute videos, right? So it's becoming very important. But that also means is that once you get 1,000 followers, you can go live. And when you go live, you're able to touch millions. But there's a consequence of that. That means that people who are, all the content is not filtered. People can say and do whatever they want to say. And so I'm just encouraging y'all on today to do your research. Go ahead and do your research. When somebody sees something, that's why I tell people, go Google me, check me out. I have no problems with that. I have no problem with you Google searching me, figuring out who I am, what I do, where I come from. I'll let you know that. I'll also let you know that guess what? At the end of the day, what I did for somebody else, you may not be willing, you may not get the same results because you're not willing to put in the work, and you're not, the circumstances and conditions you may not be willing to participate in. So yes, I work with business people. I support them in finding and building their infrastructure, and not only their infrastructure in their business, but also the infrastructure in their personal lives for personal mastery. I also support them in understanding that that also includes their spirituality, having a connection with their spirituality, being able to activate it and have a greater awareness on how it can impact the other areas in your life, and vice versa. Right, and vice versa. So that's what we're talking about here for these conscious, honest, authentic talks. I want us to begin to have some real conversations with people, here, where we can talk about some things that can really push you forward. I talked about on the other live, I talk to people all the time, and recently I was having lunch with somebody, and they said, they reminded me that somebody that didn't want to utilize my services went to one of my clients, which is beautiful. I love it. But when the client opened up their mouth and said, the only reason I'm able to do this is because I went through blah, 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 blah program. And she was talking about me, right? And the person went back and told somebody else, man, even she worked with her. I never would have thought that, because she don't act like her. She more, and see, she was going off a look instead of going off what really was there. You understand? She was going off what was really there. And I don't have a problem with that. But I'm telling you, there are people on here who are giving you false information. There are people on here that are giving us, that are leading us down the road and baiting, baiting and switching. There are people who are just baiting us to be able to get access to us. Some people, you gotta do your research. Do your research and find out what's available for you in your business. What is life alchemy? Life alchemy is being able to bring about transformation in your life. And that transformation in your life should be happening in your relationships on every level of your life. It should be happening in your finances in every level of your life. It should be able to happen in your career and with your education, with your knowledge, your skills, your talents, right? Your community. It should be able to happen for you to be able to have optimal physical health. You should be able to have emotional stability, mental acuity, spiritual activation, and awareness, all working simultaneously, harmonically. And that's what people got to understand, is that when you start looking for harmony, you leave this ideal of balance, because balance makes you have to choose one thing over another. We're about prioritizing that which we value. If you value it, then you prioritize it. If you prioritize it and value it, then you maintain it and you develop it and you share it more easily. Welcome to the space. Welcome to the space. Thank you for being here. Greatly appreciate it. But that's the level, that's what we're talking about here. I really, integrity is a very big thing. And a lot of people pass that over. But if, when I was working with a client, and when clients come to me and they say, hey, I want to work my business, I said, well, let's talk about you first. Let's figure out what's going on with you. Let me hear what's going on with you. And I do what I have to do with them. And then I say, okay, fine. I talk about the business. Well, I'm selling paper cups. Okay. So who's going to buy your paper cups? And what makes your paper cup more different from any other paper cup? And then they tell me. And then I say, okay, so who's going to buy it? Okay. And why would they buy it? And when would they buy it? And how they're going to use your cup. Because what that's doing is that's telling you you are becoming that person that you just said you identified. And that's how it is too when your personal mastery level. That person you want to become, I say to you, hey, we look at your life and you say, I'm tired of being quote unquote broke. I'm tired of not having quality relationships. I'm tired of being not in optimal physical health. I'm tired of having brain fog and being uncertain and not being able to matriculate through my job or have a better education, or maybe you're not feeling like you're connected to your spiritual source. So when we do that, I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, okay, well, what would it be like if you were in spiritual harmony, in full activation and awareness of your spiritual connection with your spiritual connection? What is it? What is your optimal physical health and look like? What does having financial assurances, not just security, but assurances, what does that really look like, feel like? What would be different? What does it smell like? Who's going to be there? Like, you got to go deep. People think this is a real life process. It's not showing up at my seminar and hanging out with me and we doing a bunch of hype stuff and then you go out of there and it's magic. No, it requires you to make the decision. It requires you to make the decision. And that's why I'm saying when we're going through all this stuff on these social media apps, you got to do your research. I clicked on something when I was like, oh, okay, that's a cool little idea. Let me click on it. I clicked on it. It was taking me to a bunch of websites and they wanted my information and somebody going to call. Like, no, that's a bait and switch. That's a bait and switch. When you can probably Google the information to get exactly what you're talking about. Oh, okay. I'm dating a geriatric lady for my you are. Well, guess what? If you are doing that, if that's your goal, just make sure you understand that not only are you might have that ability, but it will also allow you to be able to catch the karma for that too if you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You could be in love with her and you could enjoy her. You could fall in love with her, right? But just know that if you are engaging in this, because see, I don't play with people. You want to play with me, you should figure out and Google who I am before it messes around and get you in some trouble. Because I'll help you out. If you want to date her, I don't have no problem with you dating somebody that's geriatric. Long as you treating them right and they treating you right, and it's an equitable exchange, there's nothing hidden. As long as people are aware of what you're getting into, I don't got a problem with that. I don't got a problem with nothing you do. Because that's your life, not mine. I'm not responsible for your life. I am only here to remind you of the greater parts that you should be accessing in order to enjoy your life even more. That's it. Point blank, period. Have a great day. It is a beautiful day. All right. So when we continue to have these conversations with ourselves, that's why I tell people, I'm staying my high frequency. I'm gonna stay where I have to be. I'm gonna stay where I have to be. I tell people this all the time. No time for fake ones. I don't have time for distractions. You either gonna rise up to me or I'm gonna push my vibration so high that you're not gonna be able to stay in the space with me. So when you're on TikTok and you are experiencing, when you're on Facebook, Instagram, all these other places that people go on to, when you are experiencing this, you need to begin to step back and say, how does this really benefit me? So I'll tell you something else that I tell people. My friend says, I had a workshop. I did like a focus group, and how does social media really affect your bottom line? And so what I said to people was, um, okay, let's look at social media. How much, if you had a product, what's your most expensive product? If you charge by the hour, what's your hourly rate? Okay. And so the one person, people saying stuff like, my product is $20, or my hourly rate is $200 or $100 or $50 or $35. I said, okay. I said, so how many hours do you spend on social media? Huh? How many hours do you spend on social media on average? And people said stuff like, oh, maybe 2 to 4, maybe 6 to 8, maybe 10 hours. Maybe I'm on it all the time, right? Because I'm researching, my clients are on there. You know how you tell yourself those type of things, right? So I said, okay, so let's do the math. Let's just say you on social media for 4 hours a day. And you telling me that your hourly rate is $25 an hour. That's $100. So in that, how do you recoup that $100? What are you doing on social media that brings you that $100? For every day times 7 days, that's $700 a week, $2,800 a month. How are you leveraging your time on social media? Because your greatest asset is you. Your second greatest asset is your time. Your third greatest asset is your knowledge, skills, abilities, education, right? That's your three greatest assets, right? You see? Because when we are experiencing life, right? When we are experiencing what you talking about, right? You got to know what you're talking about. You got to know what you're talking about. Like I tell people, do the math. What is that? I think I said $25. What I say, $25? Okay, King, I got you, King. You got me, King. I said $25, right? So 25 times 4 is how much? $100. $100 times 4 hours is $400, right? A day. $400 a day times 7 days a week is how much? $2,800. $2,800 times 4. What is that? 32, 2, 56. Am I right? I might be off a number because I'm doing it in my big math. Because he know that I'm talking about him, and it's okay. We're in a safe space. We're in a safe space, right? So if you can support me, then support me. If you don't just show it out because you want to show that you can show somebody an error, errors don't bother me because errors be made all the time. The reason why we have 100% of all the laws, all the products in the world is because of an error. But you get my point, because we're all guilty. We're all guilty of wasting our time and devaluing ourselves. I told you this is a conscious, honest, authentic talk. A conscious, honest, authentic talk. That's it. Because your goal is to ascend. Your goal is not to stay the same. Your goal is not to bring everybody with you. Your goal is to elevate yourself and examine yourself enough so that you can be able to ascend into a higher place. If you wasting 6 hours on TikTok, social media, whatever it's called, whichever one is your favorite platform, how does it turn back into your bottom line? So when people come to me and say, oh, I'm broke, oh, I don't get it, or you never pay for an ad, not boost, but you never pay for an ad on social media. Oh, what's Billy's last name? Oh, I can't think of the Billy name. He always say, if you ain't spending what you eat, minimally what you spend for lunch on social media ads, then you can't talk to me, because I'm spending $100,000 a day on social media ads. What is Billy's last name? Oh, I gotta think of Billy's last name. But he's a big marketing guru out in San Diego. When you open yourself up to listen to learn instead of listen to judge or to criticize or to overanalyze, you'll find yourself in spaces and with people that you have no idea. That's how I look at my life sometimes. Now that I'm slowing down and I'm ready to settle down in my life and things like that, I realize that I have been in some places and I've got some people that I gave me some information, and I've been in rooms and I was like, ooh, all you can do is glean from the field. So ask yourself the question, how are you using your time? How are you using yourself? How are you using your brain power, your mind time? Ask yourself that, right? How do you get into harmony? Are you comparing yourself, or are you identifying your uniqueness and then run it with it? Or are you comparing yourself? Because there's a bunch of burger places, but only a few are at the top, right? Has nothing to do with the quality of the food either. Has nothing to do with the quality of food. So just keep that in mind as we're going forward, having this conversation. Thank you for being here. This is a Chat Diva, aka Marrian Sista Efua. If you have not followed me so far, go ahead, follow me on my and go to my link and follow me on YouTube as well. That'd be a great honor and a pleasure if you could do that. Remember, you're going to be successful not because somebody just motivated you. You're going to be successful because you do the work and you follow up. Huh? That's what we doing. Welcome to the space. Welcome to the space. Thanks for being here today, Candy. I appreciate you. But that's what it's about. You got to look and see if what you spending your time on is bringing you back a return on your investment. Is it a return on your investment? That's in anything that you do. Relationships, spiritual interaction, right? How you spend your money, what you eat and put in your body, what you drink and eat, drink in your body, drink and put into your body, what you cleanse your body with, who you have around you, the conversations, all of this feeds into your ability to have full life harmony using the alchemic system. I'm just saying. You can't separate it. Listen, I'll tell you something I heard today too. This is so funny. So y'all let me look. I'm talking today. So I'm on social media. I'm coming through. I'm getting ready to go do my live. And it pops up when you first come on, whatever, some kind of program will pop up. So it says, for you. And it was this woman, she was talking. And I said, this woman is projected. I got my eye kicked in. I said, this woman is projected. She done said something that was so crazy. I said, why is this your MO? So of course I'm nosy, right? So I went through her page and it seemed like every post she made was something very far out, something very negative, and negative is a relative term, but I'm saying something that would make you go like, wow, really? Like, okay, that's what somebody getting murdered or somebody having a menage a trois with your cousin. It was weird, right? So I said, is this projecting? Somebody's child is being molested. So I started saying to myself, this sister is projecting. This sister is working through her stuff because just like me, my intensity to make sure that I not live in poverty has me more assertive when it comes to things that deal with money. I tell my clients, you want to make $1 million, make $2,790 322 times. I've done it. So you got to figure out, how do you make $2,790 322 times? You'll get a little bit over $1 million. So what do you have? What do you have to offer? What do you have to do in order to do that 322 times? I prefer for it to happen in 1 year. So that means you got to have a product or service or a gifter that's going to gift you that money 322 times. 322 people coming to an event that costs $3,000. You done made $1 million. Y'all didn't want to hear that though. People don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that. Because when you hear that, that number might scare you. When it says that you got to have integrity and make sure when they pay that $3,000, you're giving them something of value. Same thing in your personal life. When you say you bring, you're going to go be in a relationship, but you coming in with all the baggage and you comparing them to the previous person, when you talking about you want to change the way you carry and take care of your physical body, but yet you're constantly sneaking and lying to yourself about what you're doing. You're doing one thing in front of the people. I have a client that just came to me and told me she's pre-diabetic, and she asked me would I help her out with the meal plans at Azon. We also do meal plans, right? So I hooked her up with the nutritionist, and we do plant-based. We primarily plant-based. And I told her, I said, well, if you want to do a non-plant-based, I could, we could integrate some flesh into there, but it's really best for your body to detox so that your pancreas can have a chance to reset. If we can get you to detox your body from the breads, from the heavy carbs, if we can get you to get rid of some of the drinks and things that you're drinking, right? And we can get your body to detox, your pancreas can get to a place where it can reset. She said to me, it's so hard because when I start my menstrual cycle, I always crave donuts and chocolate. Okay. But again, that's a psychological thing. We've been conditioned. And there are some physiological things that tell you that. Yeah. I'm just saying, what you gonna do? What do you want to have in your life? There's a lot of whispers out here. The question is, what are you gonna do? People project who they are. My projection is that I want to live my best and highest quality life with the least amount of challenges, the least amount of chaos possible. So when I talk to people, I don't want to hear like a bunch of stupid stuff. I'll leave you with, it's an honor. Conscious, honest, authentic talks from a divinely inspired vision of ascension. Marrian Sista Efua. Follow me up above. If you have not already, go ahead. Check out my little bio that I have and click the link and see if something there addresses you that you might want to participate in. But that's my conversation for today. I just really wanted you to understand that, you know, we're gonna have a lot of noise. There's gonna be a lot of noise. There's gonna be a lot of conversations. Ask yourself, is that really you? Yes, get clarity, but before you go to somebody for clarity, find out what you want. Like I send people things before they come work with me. I say, okay, what is it that you really want to do? Tell me why you chose me. What is it that you're expecting from here? Because I want to make sure we're on the same page. Or well, you know, like people come to me and say, oh, you know, such and such came here. They said you helped them get their business this place, or such and such told me to come with you because you really helped them with their trauma or with their blah blah blah, with their healing or with their issue, right? That's fine. I can support you with that. But you may not have the same results they did because everybody's a different individual with a unique journey. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Y'all got me? Yes, thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate you being here on today. I'll be back here again on next week, Tuesday. I'm trying to divide it up with my time that I do on my other platforms. I'm working to find this one platform. Somebody just plugged me up with some other platform that allows me to go simultaneously on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon, I think is all at one time, which is what I really want to do because that's so much easier than having to, you know, record and do different things like that. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'm honored that you were here with me on today, learning of something regarding our life alchemy as it relates to our whole life. It is about your whole life. Again, alchemy is about transformation, transforming something from one element or one entity into another. That's what it is physically. That's where it comes from. You know, turning something into something, stripping it down to its purest essence, taking it through a 7-stage process until it creates something new, more refreshed, more freer, without all the junk. Without all the junk. Yep, without all the junk. All right, wonderful ones. Thank y'all for being here. I will see y'all again soon. Thank you for listening on today. Please like and share. Tell someone about me and follow through. And we'll be here again to remind you of how to have the highest expectation of your life, an exponential existence that has full holistic life harmony. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.